Hi, Jerry. Hope you're having a good day today. As you can see, it's a very nice day, so I decided to do my videos outside today. And my assistant is over here checking out the firewood. So in case he pops into the screen, you hear him in the background. So cool. I had a chance to review your video. It sounded really nice. I kind of just like tap my foot along to that to your playing. The beginning of it's really solid. I can actually feel you starting to kind of really groove now. So whatever you're doing with that metronome, keep doing it because it's working for you. Actually, I was kind of just doing this right here. I'm like, oh yeah, it's actually kind of starting to swing now. So I think we're just going to keep on hitting hard with that metronome, and I think we're about ready to do like a big push through into the next level of your guitar playing. So I think we're going to learn a lot off of this song, and your playing is going to really improve. Your timing is going to be really much better. I'll talk more about that in a second. First thing is, we've done a ton of pentatonics, and for you, I feel like you're ready for the next thing in terms of scales. Since you're kind of more like a focus on like the blues for the time being, blues rock, is that we need to start getting the major scale down now. Because pentatonics are fun and everything, but there's other things called modes. And for example, for you, I would probably start you off with a Mixolydian mode, but the first thing you need to do is learn the major scale before I can start talking about that kind of stuff. So I want you to just go ahead and get your Rock Secrets book out, the Bible for guitar playing, and for the style of guitar playing. And if you flip over to page 44, 45, you'll see the 5 positions of the major scale. So you remember how we had each of the cage chords or each one of the bar chords had a corresponding pentatonic box that went with it? Same thing holds true for this. There are 5 major cage shapes. What we're doing is we're really just adding in 2 additional notes to the pentatonic scale to create the major scale, because pentatonic is a 5-note scale. A major scale is a diatonic 7-note scale. And all we're going to do is take the shapes that we already know and just insert 2 brand new notes to the scale. The one I'd like you to start with is labeled here as pattern 3, but I call it box 1 because it's really the first box I teach in pentatonics. So it just makes sense, I think, I scratched off pattern 3 and I put box 1 there because that's the way I like to categorize it. So I want you to start with that one. It's based off of this shape, off of Old Faithful. For A minor pentatonics, like 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, and 5, 8. It's based off of that shape. And for the Thrill Is Gone, it would be 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And all we're doing is we're just adding 2 additional notes to the scale. We can talk about this more when we're at our next in-person lesson. I think it's on the 23rd, I want to say. We can talk more about the differences between major and minor, major scales and major and minor pentatonics. But we'll first off just learn the pattern. So what we're doing here, I'm going to be an A minor for this, is A minor / C major because they're relative major, relative minor. You'll start with 5, and rather than going to 8 right here, you're going to go to 7. We're going to insert that extra note in there, right? We're going to insert that B. And then we go to the C, 8th fret. Then we go 5, 7, 8 on the 5th string. And you can see those 2 notes we added. We added a B to the scale. We added an F to the scale, right? We can talk more about why that is, like I said, in person. But just start learning that pattern. So the shell of it is this. Right, the pentatonic shell, and then we're going to add in those 2 additional notes, the B and the F. So you're not learning like a brand new shape necessarily, you're just adding what you already know back onto the scale. Isn't that right, buddy? Yes, Ethan agrees. And then 5, 7, we're going to do a quick little shift over here to grab the B on the 3rd string. Right, continue up, because before it would have been this, but we're adding an extra note in there. And then 5, 6, 8, and then 5, 7, 8 on the very top of it. Right, so we added those notes in there. This week, just get that under your fingers. You can apply all the sequencing patterns. And what we're going to do eventually, we're going to do with this, once the sequence patterns are all good, we're going to start talking what are called intervals or intervallic distance, and how we can incorporate those into to create more interesting lines. Like I said, I want to get these down first so that we can talk about the Mixolydian mode, which is what the Allman Brothers use. Other players use Jerry Garcia uses this kind of stuff. So it'd be good for us to start working on this because I feel like you have a really rock solid understanding of the pentatonic boxes. Now, can you do all the boxes all the time, all at once? Well, you just remember the ones that you're using right now and you just build off them with this stuff. So it's kind of like math, I suppose, where if you're working on algebra, you're also using addition and subtraction, which you learned beforehand. So that basic math is still used in algebra. You're just kind of building off of it and getting to a more complex structure, but you're still using the things before, i.e. you're using pentatonics to learn your major scales, right? And then you can switch between them. So if you're soloing, if you're doing, and you want to switch to a pentatonic sound, more bluesy, you just flip into the minor pentatonic scales or the major pentatonic scales. Practice that for me. Next thing I want you to do is flip over to page 56, 57, which I will do. And back to the rhythm pyramid. What I would suggest doing is putting on a click. So let me get a click here. Let me step around. You go that way, you come this way, you go over here, like that. All right, if I pull up my metronome, because my current metronome I'm recording this video with, metronome, there it is. If you need one that does subdivisions, it's good to have one that can do like a subdivided beat, like say like 16th notes and 8th notes. So what I'll do is I'll put my click on, and I'll put it about 90 or something. Let's do 90. 90, there it goes, close enough. If I move you over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way down the subdivisions. So I'll just pick like an open note, for example. 1, 2, 3. We'll go around. Maybe turn that on to be. There we go. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. You got to count to 3. You want to line up. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're finding you're having a hard time getting on like directly on the beat, you can add a subdivision to it. I like myself to add 16th notes to it. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Switch to half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Having those things in between helps you stay even with inside the beat, because you can be like on time on like the downbeat, but then things inside of it can be askew. Like say all your beats are bump in a bump ba-da-dum, bump ba-da-dum, bump. If you're trying to make it even, that's not the best way to do it. And I'll switch to 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then for triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3. And it's actually surprising how fast, if you work with a metronome, how quickly your playing changes. I think you've already mentioned before you're using the metronome, it's already showing it's already showing the improvement in your playing. So don't let up on it yet. If I switch to 16th notes, 1 E, 1 E, 1 E, and a 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 1 E, and a. Can you switch while stopping? While not stopping. 1 E, and a 1 E, and a 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 1 E, and a. If you can do that, you have a really good sense of timing, and your phrasing is going to improve. If you look, so work on that for me. And then other thing to work on too is for the Thrill Is Gone. Solo sounding like really nice. Like I said before, I feel like the first part of it is grooving really well. I could actually even kind of like tap my foot and like, yeah, very good. I want mommy too, bud. The spot we need to work on is a spot we just kind of stopped last time with, which is at measure 8 in the string bends. You've gotten a lot better without kind of going, okay, we're doing a string bend. Hey, everyone, we're doing a string bend. Time has stopped in the song, right? We want to get better at making sure our bends aren't, you're not bending too long, right? It's kind of like, it happens a lot whenever you like put a guitar effect into a line. Someone go, hey, I'm doing a guitar effect. It's the showcase of the line. It's like, well, no, it's just there to accent it or to make it even better. It's not meant to override time, which in the end, with all this, the rhythm is king and the beat is rules all. no matter what fancy technique you're doing, if your timing is off, the effect is going to sound off. So what I suggest doing is turning on that metronome one more time. Like I said, I turned to 16th notes. That way I can really hear how long things are lasting for. Keeps my rhythm honest. And what I suggest doing is do string bends against that. So I'm not going to bend super high on the Gretsch because I have the floating bridge back here, but you get the idea. You can do as half notes. 1, 2, 1, 2. Making sure you're right on the click. Notice I'm bending up on 1 and bringing it down on 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That way my bend isn't overstaying its welcome, basically. Like it's not bending into one of the E's or the U's of the 16th note. What I also suggest doing to help that section is for measures 7 through 9, I want you to do that without the bends. So do it just with the notes, and then that way you'll know how long things last for and where you should be when the metronome is clicking. For example, if I put that, where is that tab? 2, 1, 2. So if I start measure 7, I should be able to play that clean with the metronome without any bends and me being right on the beat. Because if I can't do that, what makes me think I can do it with bends and still be in time? It's kind of make it simpler, but it should, if you can't play it simpler, playing it harder is not going to do any good either. Oops. 2 and 3 and 4. So the way to count that is 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit slower. Is this, starting at measure 7 on the 12 right there. 12, 10, 11, 12, that's where I am right now in the tab. Right? Be able to play the lines, right, without any of the bends, and then we add the bending in later. So work on the accuracy of the bend up and down on the half note. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Work these without the bends, and then we'll put it all together next week. All right, man, take it. I better get to that. All right, if you have any questions or want me to look at anything, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye.